Good morning, Rockroom friends. Today I'm going to read you a book called Wombat Stew. My aunt brought this back for me from Australia when she visited there when I was about your age. It's a pretty funny book. One day on the banks of a billabong, a very clever dingo caught a wombat. And decided to make wombat stew, gooey brewy, yummy chewy wombat stew. Platypus came ambling up the bank. "Good day, Dingo," he said, snapping his bill. "What's all that water for?" "I'm brewing up a gooey, chewy stew with that fat wombat," replied Dingo with a toothy grin. "If you ask me," said Platypus, "the best thing for a gooey stew is mud. Big blops of billabong mud." "Blops of mud?" Dingo laughed. "What a good idea. Right-o, in they go." So Platypus scooped up big blops of mud with his tail and tipped them into the billy can. Around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang, wombat stew, gooey brewy, yummy chewy, wombat stew." Waltzing out from the shade of the ironbarks came Emu. She arched her graceful neck over the brew. "Oh no, Dingo," she fluttered, "what do we have here?" "Gooey chewy wombat stew," boasted Dingo. "If only it were a bit more chewy," she sighed. "But don't worry, a few feathers will set it right." "Feathers?" Dingo smiled. "That would be chewy. Right-o, in they go." So into the gooey brewy, Emu dropped her finest feathers. Round and around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang, wombat stew, crunchy munchy for my lunchy wombat stew." Old Blue Tongue the lizard came sliding off his sun-soaked stone. "Silly Dingo," he hissed. "There are no flies in this stew. Can't be wombat stew without crunchy flies in it." He stuck out his tongue, and it was bright blue. "There's a lot to be said for flies," agreed Dingo, rubbing his paws together. "Right-o, in they go." So Lizard snapped 100 flies from the air with his long tongue and flipped them into the gooey, chewy stew. Around and around and around the bubbling billy, Dingo danced and sang, wombat stew, crunchy munchy for my lunchy wombat stew." Up through the red dust popped Echidna. "Wait a bit, not so fast," he bristled, shaking the red dust from his quills. "Now I've been listening to all this advice, and take it from me, for a munchy stew you need slugs, bugs, and creepy crawlers." Dingo wagged his tail. "Why, I should have thought of that. Right-o, in they go." So Echidna dug up all sorts of creepy crawlies and dropped them into a gooey, chewy, crunchy stew. A very clever Dingo stirred and stirred while singing, wombat stew, hot and spicy, oh so nicey, wombat stew." Just then a sleepy-eyed koala climbed down the scribbly gum tree. "Look here," he yawned, "any bush cook knows you can't make a spicy stew without gum nuts." "Leave it to Koala to think of gum nuts." Dingo laughed and licked his whiskers. "Righto, in they go!" Into the gooey, chewy, crunchy, munchy stew, Koala shook lots and lots of gum nuts. "Aha!" cried Dingo. "Now my stew is only missing one thing." "What's that?" asked the animals. "A fat wombat." "Wait, stop, hang on, Dingo. You can't put that wombat into the stew yet." "Hmm, Why not?" "You haven't tasted it." "Righto, I'll taste it." And the very clever Dingo bent over the billy and took a great big slurp of stew. "Ow, ow, ow, I'm poisoned," he howled. "You tricked me." And he dashed away deep into the brush, never to be seen again.